Functional departments play a huge role in the life of any organizations. Today's episode is dedicated to the HR, management department and financial department. Let's see the people who stand behind the decisions that influence on the people's life and on the long-term objectives of an organization. While some decisions are made through people, the others are driven by numbers that define what's possible. But the real impact happens when people and numbers work together. Dear Mr. Mehman, thank you so much for accepting our invitation to the third episode of Economics Talks. And we would like to know your opinions about the contribution of financial department into the long-term objectives of modern educational complex. So, my first question is, what is the one thing that people misunderstand about your job?
Thank you very much, Nargis. There are actually two things when people misunderstand about the CFO's role. People think that CFO is the person who is doing all bookkeeping reports, doing transactions, and also sending the reports to the tax authority. Mm-hmm. But indeed, this CFO's role is in entity is focusing on the long-term planning, strategic decisions. Mm-hmm. Which affect their value creation process and success in the long term of the company. The second aspect of this question is that CFOs must reject all the inquiries to their finance department, say no to their inquiries. And this is absolutely wrong thinking, and for creating value and in the long term, CFO must decide which decisions are important and focus on the long term planning and decisions in this discussion.
Thank you for destroying these assumptions, Mr. Mehman. The second, another question was, what was initially attracted you to this job?
It comes from my traditions of my family. Oh. My father was worked long years as a chief accountant, and also my grandfather is worked as a chief accountant. And second aspect of my attraction, my focus to create value in finance and get people not stopping learning, and in school environments there is a lot of learning initiatives. Mm-hmm. Everybody is encouraging to learning. Mm-hmm. Without non-stopping.
Without non-stop. So this is the profession that goes from generation to generation.
Yes.
That's lovely to hear. What's the financial decision that had a real impact on our educational community?
I think during the COVID-19 period, not the cuts in their salaries, and the salaries was paid to our staff members. I think it created good loyalty, and it was a great impact in people's life.
When you were talking about not cutting the salaries are part of costs.
Yes.
When you make a decision when to cut costs and invest in growing, which factors do you consider?
I think most entities making false decisions, cutting costs can create value, but it may be in short term. It can work. They can reduce the cost. So creating value and cutting costs, it is two opposite sides of the coin. So I think in short term you can save some money, but you cannot create value in the long term.
What advice would you give to our students that are preparing for this career?
I think our students who are going to choose this profession must be self-disciplined, set the targets, and to get to the targets, they must work hard and self-motivated. And I wish them success in their professions.
Thank you so much. You will be a good role model, I think, for our students.
Thank you.
Every organization is built on decisions we rarely see. Who gets the opportunity and what makes them stand out? Who fits the culture and who helps shape it? Dear Ms. Güney, thank you so much for accepting the invitation to the third episode of Economics Talks podcast. My first question is, what people misunderstand about your job?
Thank you, Ms. Nergis. It's my pleasure. I think the biggest misunderstanding is that HR is only about hiring and firing. People sometimes see HR as very procedural or even a bit distant. But for me, HR is actually very human. It's about emotions, trust, and sometimes having difficult but necessary conversations. There are moments when you celebrate someone's success, and there are also moments when you support someone through a tough transition. And in many cases, you are kind of the bridge between people and decisions they may not fully understand at first. So for me, it's not just the function, it's really about shaping people's experience at work.
And what was the initial thing that attracted you to this sphere? Was it unexpected or something that was planned?
No, it was not planned. It was actually quite unexpected. When I first entered this field about 17 years ago, I didn't really have a clear understanding of what HR was. Back then, HR wasn't as recognized or developed as it is today. It was mostly seen as administrative work. I mean, paperwork, drafting an application, signing contracts, and etc. When people ask me what I did, that was exactly how I described it. At that time, there were no structured policies, no clear frameworks, and very little strategy involved. But over the years, I witnessed how the field started to evolve. HR became more modern, more dynamic, and much more creative. It shifted from being purely operational to becoming a key part of the organizational strategy. What truly kept me in this field, actually, and what continues to inspire me is people. And the opportunity to understand the individuals, to support their growth, and to help them navigate challenges, and to create an environment where they can thrive. That's what made me stay. Over time, it stopped being just a job and it became something much more meaningful for me.
Ms. Güney, we saw you reviewing the CVs. What makes you stop and say, this is the one?
Interesting
Yes.
question. Yes. What makes me stop and say
This is the one.
this is the one? Yes. For us, not for me, for us, it's that moment when a CV feels real, not just well written, but honest and intentional. We look for a story, how the person has grown, what choices they have made, and whether there's a sense of direction. It's not about having the longest experience, but about showing impact. When we see someone who understands their own journey, and we can reflect that clearly, that's when we pause and think, okay, we want to meet this person.
And what if the CV is even perfectly good, but still it fails? What goes wrong? Why candidate fails?
Yes, very often actually. A CV can be perfect on paper, but interviews reveal the person behind it. Sometimes candidates try too hard to give the right answers instead of being themselves, or they focus so much on memorized responses that they lose authenticity. What really stands out in an interview is not perfection. It's clarity, honesty, and the ability to think in the moment. In reality, people connect with people, not perfect answers.
Ms. Güney, beyond hiring, what are the key functions that HR department executes?
There is a big part of HR that people don't really see. A lot of work happens behind the scenes, like things like performance management, employee development, handling conflicts, and building fair policies. But beyond all of that, there is culture. It's about asking simple but important questions. How to feel at work? Do they feel supported? Do they feel valued? These things are not always visible, but they really shape the overall environment.
Ms. Güney, how does HR contribute to a long-term success of educational complex?
I think recruitment is just the starting point. The real value comes after that. How you develop people, how you keep them engaged, and how you help them grow over time. When HR works closely with the overall strategy, it helps build strong teams, not just skilled, but also motivated and committed. And that's what really makes an organization sustainable in the long run.
In today's world, what does a good employee mean for HR?
Yes, it's a very good question. Today, being a good employee is about more than just skills. Of course, skills are important, but mindset is even more important. Someone who is open to learning, adaptable, takes responsibility, and is willing to grow. That's what really stands out, because things are changing so fast, and the people who succeed are the ones who grow with that change.
Thank you so much. Your answers contributed for our audience a lot. Thank you for accepting our invitation one more time. It was a pleasure to hear all these concise answers to our questions. How often do HR and finance see things differently, and what do those conversations look like?
I think they see these prospects as the same. HR department is focused on their resource planning, resource efficiency of the resource, and finance department also focused on efficiency of these resources.
Quite often, actually, and I think that's a good thing. Finance looks more at numbers and efficiency, while HR focuses on people and long-term impact. Sometimes it feels like two different perspectives, but when you bring them together, you get a better decision. It becomes about balance, being both practical and human at the same time.